Hey there, listeners of Whispers of the Womb. In this episode, we're diving into pelvic floor yoga with Mari Rautio, all the way from Finland. Despite English not being her first language, Mari shares her expertise as a yoga teacher, specialising in pelvic floor issues, helping women alleviate tension and overcome dysfunctions like leaking and prolapse. Join us as Mari discusses her journey into yoga, her experiences during pregnancy, and how she transitioned from a stressful corporate job to becoming a dedicated yoga instructor. We did have a few technical issues with our video recording due to Wi-Fi, but we think you will still find the audio good. So welcome to another episode of Whispers of the Womb. My name is Suzanne Lawson, your host for this podcast session, and we are joined today all the way from Finland from Mari Rautio, who is going to talk about what she does and what she offers her community. So over to you, Mari.
Thank you, Suzanne, and thank you for having me here. It's so nice. And so my name is Mari, and I am from Finland. So excuse me for my English. It's not my first language, but I think I will manage just fine. So I'm a yoga teacher, and I specialize in pelvic floor yoga. So I help women with hypertonic pelvic floors. So it means that they have too much tension in their pelvic floors. So they might have dysfunction from that. So leaking, prolapse, pain. These are the kind of most usual dysfunctions or problems that women have. So I help them with yoga, meditation, and kind of self-care routines so that they can do whatever they like and enjoy life without having to kind of worry about pelvic floor. Yeah, that's what I do.
Excellent. So how many years have you been teaching yoga? Do you want to just explain your yoga journey? So like, how did you become a yoga teacher? What led you to that? What kind of journey did you have?
I actually started yoga in my 20s when I was studying at the university, and there was Ashtanga yoga teacher that came to our school and did a morning practice there like once a week, and I started with Ashtanga. So that's over 20 years ago, and I really liked it. I really loved it. But then I have been kind of doing yoga on and off, and I didn't continue with Ashtanga then because I get bored quite easily, and it was always the same. So when I found this kind of flow style yoga, then I was like, oh, this is nice. We can do many things. And then when I was pregnant, I started the pregnancy yoga. And that was so amazing. It really helped me while I was pregnant. So I have 2 kids, and then during that time when I had my kids, I was really in a stressful job, and I thought that because in Finland we have quite a long maternity leave, so I was at home for a long time, and then I decided I'm not going back to my corporate job. I don't want to do that anymore. So I became a yoga teacher. That was in 2018. So I kind of switched my occupation to yoga teacher, and then I did this normal 200 hours yoga teacher training that was vinyasa flow, and then I did yin yoga teacher training, and I really loved the yin because I was so stressed. But then after my second birth, I got birth trauma and injuries from the birth, and I had my own pelvic floor issues. I had leaking and I had a prolapse. And I tried everything, the squeezing and the Kegels and physiotherapy and everything, nothing worked. It actually made it worse when I did the squeezing all the time. And of course, I had it in my background in Ashtanga yoga, where you do the Mula Bandha all the time. You have your pelvic floor up all the time. So then I started there have to be some other way to kind of get over these pelvic floor issues. And then I found this amazing teacher, Leslie Howard. She's this pelvic floor yoga teacher in the United States. And she had this online teacher training course. And I was like, yay, I will do that. Because I think that yoga can help everyone in everything almost. So, and at the first lesson during that course, I was like, yes, this is why I really kind of realized that all of my problems were because I had too much tension. I was not loose or weak in my pelvic floor, but I have this squeezing and too much tension and scar tissue from the birth and episiotomy that was done to me twice. So there was this pulling and tension. And when I realized that, and I did the training and I started to doing these exercises and yoga asanas and breathing and everything that made me relax my pelvic floor. And now I don't have any more leaking. I don't leak anymore. I can jump, I can run, I can cough, laugh, sneeze without leaking. And I don't have any prolapse symptoms anymore. I don't have the bulging and the heaviness anymore. And I'm so happy. And I was so excited about this pelvic floor yoga because it was so mind-blowing and amazing. And I was like, oh my God, this is so great. I want to help others. So that's why I specialized in pelvic floor yoga. And that was 2021. I did the training with Leslie, and then I also did, she has this kind of certification, what you can do. So I'm a certified pelvic floor yoga teacher, and at the moment I'm actually the only one in Finland who does this. So now I'm helping women to kind of relax their pelvic floor and kind of enjoy life without problems.
What an amazing story. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I love the way that kind of, I guess, both of your children have kind of designed your future path, really, haven't they? Because your first child was the one that got you out of corporate into yoga teaching, and then your second child was what has led you to where you are today.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, and actually we did also this kind of change of environment. We moved to the countryside. We used to live in Espoo, which is kind of near Helsinki, the capital of Finland. It was very busy and lots of people and traffic. And we moved in 2021 to Lappajärvi, which is like almost it's over 400 kilometers from Helsinki. So now we live by the lake in a small village, and the children go to this really nice small school, and it's so much slower here.
Yeah.
It's peaceful, and I do all of my courses online, so it doesn't matter where I live. So I think that has helped also a lot to kind of reduce the stress, because also the stress makes your pelvic floor tense up. So when we relax and kind of get out of the stress mode, so it's really helped. So I have done some big things to change my life and my family's life to kind of more relaxed, more slow lifestyle.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the marrying up between the two is like perfect, isn't it? Because that's what you said. You were too tense, so that was why you couldn't heal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is a big part of the healing journey. I think in every in every situation with every problem that we have to kind of think really holistically. The whole body and the whole mind and the soul, they are all connected. So, and it links really well to pelvic floor, which kind of responds a lot to how we think, how we stress, how we feel. If we tense our shoulders, our pelvic floor follows up, 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 and we're told to squeeze, 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 squeeze. Remember to do your Kegels, and that's the kind of what you tell women, but I don't do that.
And so do you, in your program that you do, you mentioned that you teach online. do you teach in English or do you teach in your native tongue? What do you actually do there? Do you have it globally?
Actually, I have it only in Finnish now, so
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah. So I'm sorry. So
No need to apologise. Your English is superb, by the way.
thank you. So actually, I would like to do also in English because I have been studying in English this pelvic floor course, and so and I think then I could help more women if I would also offer my offerings in English. So I think that will be my next step, to have my offering also in English in order to help more women.
Brilliant. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Because I'm sure there's lots of people out there who would love to work with you. I know you mentioned that one of my podcast episodes that you listened to was the one Healing Trauma with Anita Itzkak. And I was just wondering, obviously you've gone through trauma yourself. You've touched on it a little bit, but what would be the biggest thing that piece of advice that you could give to someone if they were going through a trauma, whatever that might be, if they were going through a trauma at the moment, what would you say that would be?
Ooh, that's a big question. I think it would be good to find help and kind of seek help that kind of suits you, whatever makes you feel good in your body, in your mind, in your soul, like whatever feels good. I think that's really amazing to do things that you enjoy. So I think, yeah, that could be the place to start.
Yeah, because we all say, practice yoga, it's good for you, it's good for you. But there's so many different types of yoga out there, and if you go and do one and you don't like it, then that's okay. But there's other options out there as well, and like you say, just to do things that you enjoy. Go for a walk, spend time with a friend, go swimming, do something that really just lets your mind relax.
Yeah, that's really good, because I think if we just stay and worry and kind of curl up, and we need to do something in order to get into the flow, and everybody has their own thing. Yoga is maybe not for everyone, or maybe you can find like you said, there are different styles of yoga, because sometimes we're so kind of stressed and we are going in this fight or flight mode, and our nervous system is very active, so it's very difficult to meditate or stay in a yin yoga pose silent, and if your mind is like, oh my god, and if you could feel anxiety or something when you're kind of in silence, when you have to be still, it might be really intimidating or scary for some people. Yeah. So maybe then do the walking, do the swimming, do something that you like, and then you can kind of start to regulate your nervous system in a different way. But if you're like really passive and would like to just lie down, maybe then the opposite, then go out and kind of do more dynamic things. And it depends so much on a person.
And so do you want to just tell the listeners a little bit about your actual program? So how long is it? What kind of things would people do if they were to join it?
Yes. So actually at the moment, I have this it's called Everyday Challenge for your pelvic floor. So that's the basic that I offer, because you need to have your everyday life in how to say, not in order, but you have to consider your pelvic floor in your everyday life. So because it really matters that how you go to the toilet, do you strain, do you push, do you squeeze, how do you breathe, how do you sit? If you always sit in a slouched position? How is your posture? It all affects the pelvic floor. If you have tension in your jaw and you're biting your teeth all the time, that affects also. So in this everyday challenge, we do these little things every day that you can take into account in your everyday life, because those are the things that really affect your life. So you don't have to do a 1-hour yoga class every day, but you can do 2 minutes of breathing. You can kind of be mindful when you're doing the dishes. That are you squeezing your glutes? Could you relax them? Could you consider that when you're doing your work, that how do you sit? Or do you kind of clench your jaw while you're doing something? And then you can start to do little changes to those. You don't have to maybe touch the pelvic floor at all, because you can kind of impact the pelvic floor from your jaw, from your feet, from your stomach. If you hold your stomach in all the time, as women, many of us do that all the time. We try to look slimmer and hold it in, but then it's very bad for your pelvic floor and for your whole body, because you can't breathe. You can't get a deep breath if you're holding your stomach in. So it should be all kind of relaxed and responsive and more flexible, and we need more of that kind of fluidity in our whole body, and also to the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor needs to move as well in order to get nutrients, blood flow, lymph flow. It's we're sitting too much and not kind of, we are restricting the movements and the fluidity of the pelvic floor and the body. But that's the kind of the basic course that we start with. That's 21 days. So it's 21 days to kind of be mindful to your everyday life and things to consider there. And then after that, there's this 8-week course. In Finnish, it's called Joustava ja vahva lantionpohja. It means flexible and strong pelvic floor. So in that course, it takes 8 weeks, and we go really deep, and we're really we're settling into the body. We consider the nervous system, because you really need to feel safe in order to let go, because we hold the tension, but if we don't feel safe, it's scary to let go. And if you have leaking or prolapse, then you're usually holding in more in order to, if I hold, the leaking won't happen. If I hold more up, the prolapse doesn't become worse. My organs don't fall out if I squeeze all the time. But actually, we make it worse by that. So we need to first start to build the safety in our system in order to let go little by little. And that's what we do in the course. We start from there, and then we learn to relax the pelvic floor in order to kind of function properly, because it needs to lengthen and then shorten, not be in the shortened position all the time. And then when we get that, then we can start strengthening, but not with Kegels. No, not squeezing. We can then, first we need to relax, then we can strengthen, but we strengthen the abs, the glutes, the thighs, the back muscles, so kind of surrounding the pelvis. If we are strong there, then we're strong in the pelvic floor. We don't have to do the separate squeezing, because pelvic floor is not a separate part of your body. We are a whole body. Yeah. So, and then we come back to the relaxing again. So kind of relax, strengthen, relax. So that's the course, and it's really holistic, because we take it from the head to toe, because we can really impact the pelvic floor in the middle from the jaw, from the feet. So, yeah.
Before we continue with our enlightening conversation with Mari, I want to share something special with you. Are you tired of feeling out of balance? drained of energy and longing for a sense of well-being. Introducing our free Alchemy for Hormones email training. In just 5 days, discover the secrets to hormonal balance, energy, and overall wellness. Ladies, it's time to reclaim your vitality and transform your hormonal health. Join for free today and embark on a journey to hormonal harmony. Link is in the showcase notes. So let's get back to Mari. The connection of the whole body, not just looking at the isolation of the area that we're focusing on. So obviously in your niche, it's about the pelvic area. In mine, it's about the womb and the uterus. But we need to be looking at everything in one sort of kind of entity, if you like, really looking at the whole body as one.
Yes, definitely. That's what I think. Yeah, we can so kind of, we don't have to. And if you have the trauma around your pelvis, then you don't have the connection to your pelvic floor or your pelvis at all, and maybe you don't wanna touch it or think about it. But you can start massaging your jaw. You can start to relax your tongue. You can start to massage your feet. And those will help. And you can start to find the safety in your body. You can start somewhere else. So we really are, we are whole. Like you said, it's not useful to do isolated Kegels in order to get the pelvic floor, but we need to look at the whole body, and also the daily little things, like you said, that we need the functionality. You want to sneeze without leaking. You want to run with your children. You want to play with your children without leaking. Mm-hmm. You want to do whatever you like, and not to be limited by the pelvic floor. So I want to empower women that they can do what they want without pelvic floor problems. But we have to think about the whole body, and also maybe change a little bit our lifestyle or our habits. That's how we sit and how we stand. We always stand on the other foot, because then we can create these imbalances in the pelvis and in the whole body. But we can really affect a lot by ourselves, and with really small things you could have a huge impact. Actually, I have had some clients, quite a few, that they just stopped the Kegels and the squeezing, and the leaking was gone.
Wow.
So that could be the kind of missing piece. Because if you have been squeezing all the time and you have too much tension, then you stop it, and then they realize after a few, well, hey, I haven't leaked at all. I can cough, I can sneeze, there's no leaking. What? So yeah, they can have a big impact, little things.
Mm-hmm. I know after my oophorectomy, so that's the removal of the fallopian tubes in the ovaries, I had this problem where I was leaking a lot, and I'd had another surgery as well. But I realised I was doing it, like shrugging my shoulders all the time and clenching my jaw. And it wasn't until I went backwards and forwards to the doctors to say, like, I just don't understand why I'm paying this much, why it's happening. And she said, it could be stress. And I didn't even realise I was stressed until I realised I was just lifting my shoulders up towards my ears all the time and clenching. And once I started to look at my shoulders and really think about what is happening with the shoulders, it stopped literally within days.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, because they are really connected. So if you kind of lift your shoulders all the time, then the pelvic floor actually lifts at the same time. So there's also this fascial connection. So yeah, we really can impact from other places. And like you said, sometimes these habits that we do, they are unconscious. We don't realize because we are doing it in kind of autopilot. Maybe it's a habit that we have been having since we're little girls, that we hold our stomach in. or that we lift our shoulders, or we clench our teeth. Many of us kind of
Yep.
bite the teeth during the night, so we're kind of chewing. And there could be also the stress behind it, or that you have some kind of feelings of things that you have kind of swallowed. You're not kind of, you don't say what you think, maybe boundaries, maybe feelings that you haven't felt, or things you haven't said. Then we do it in the night when there's really biting the teeth. So it's all connected.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you for this. It's been wonderful. So we just, my ask to you is that you do this course in English. You do again in English so that everybody can join in, because I think everyone out there listening, I'm sure there's going to be listeners listening who do need this. So if there's anything else you want to end with, Mari, feel free, and then we'll wrap up this episode.
Well, thank you. That sounds amazing that you would like to have my courses in English. So that's very good, and I think I will do that someday, definitely. But I would like to say to all the listeners that be mindful of your daily habits. If you have tension, or if you have pelvic floor dysfunction, that they might come from the tension, and maybe not from that you're weak or that you have to do Kegels. So be mindful and try to relax and do things that you love and make you feel good. So that's really important.
Yeah. Fabulous. Well, thank you so much for your time, Mari. It's been a pleasure to have you here. And we'll make sure that all of the links to the showcase to contact you are in the showcase notes, so people can contact you directly. And just thanks for your time.
Thank you so much for being here, that you let me come here. So it's been really nice to talk to you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deeply insightful episode of Whispers of the Womb. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights from Mari's journey and expertise in pelvic floor yoga. Remember, whether you're facing pelvic floor challenges or seeking hormonal balance, self-care is key to unlocking your inner strength and resilience. And don't forget, before I go, I still want to remind you of the exciting opportunity I have for free. If you're feeling tired, out of balance, drained of energy, and just longing for a sense of well-being, don't worry, help is at hand. Join my free Alchemy for Hormones email training and discover the secrets to hormonal harmony, energy, and overall wellness. In just 5 days, you can transform your hormonal health and reclaim your vitality. It's time to embrace your journey to wellness fully. So until next time, breathe deeply, honor your body, and remember to prioritize your well-being. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on Whispers of the Womb and my new all-inclusive meditations with poetry. So remember, you're never alone on this journey. Together we'll navigate towards a life of radiant health and balance. Until next time.